Good morning. This is the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. My name's Dave Burney.
I'm Brent Apperson. Good morning.
(7:31), 64 degrees outside. And it looks like towards the end of the week we might see our first freeze.
All right.
So we're going to be in the 80s today. It was 87 yesterday, 89 the day before. And we're going to be cooling off midweek. Do have a chance of some moisture the next couple of days. And then on Friday, it says a widespread freeze.
All right.
Get down into the 30s. So prepare for that. Cover up those plants that you want to have survive, because then a lot of times Mother Nature gives us a wonderful time of year following the first freeze. We hope. Now,
yes,
I'm glad, as I told you off the air, I'm glad you were mowing your yard yesterday. I got a call from the commissioner. You were just on the bubble of getting fined, and I'm glad you'd mowed. Now, the other part of that was I was worried about you because you were mowing. I noticed. I went for a walk. I came back. You were mowing, I believe, during the Bears game.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason for that? That's your favorite team. Why would you be mowing your yard during the Bears game?
It wasn't on TV.
It wasn't on TV.
No.
That was probably a blessing.
And I was, yes, it turned out to be a blessing for yours truly that it wasn't on TV. But I was very upset because, well, 10 and 11, the local CBS channel that I get anyway, for the first 3 weeks of the season, they've shown every Denver Broncos game. But for some reason, on this particular Sunday, they decided not to show the Broncos game, which I don't blame them necessarily. But I was very disappointed. I figured that it would be on TV because I guess I always thought maybe Denver was our regional game or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I was excited. I'm like, so I'm going to watch the Bears, I'm going to watch the Broncos, and then it wasn't on TV. So I went out and mowed the yard.
I'm glad.
And then I came back in and saw the result, and I was glad that I went out and mowed the yard. Almost went out and mowed it again after I saw the final result.
Well, you may as well have mowed on Saturday as well. The Husker game was a tough one.
I'm embarrassed. I did not watch it.
I didn't either.
I did not watch it. I listened to it, and when I think we were down 14-0, and we were driving. You know, we were, down at the 11 or something like that?
Right in the red zone, yeah.
And it was 4th down and 1, and I was listening to Greg Sharp, and he announced on the radio that Heinrich Harburg was lined up in the shotgun on 4th down and 1.
Yes.
And my wife about kicked me out of the car right then and there. Because I was mad. They didn't even snap the ball. Hadn't even snapped the ball yet. But when I heard he was in the shotgun, I got very upset. And then they got stuffed. And then I'm like, well, this could get ugly.
Yeah,
it kind of did.
It did. They needed to score there when they were, they drove down, and you're right. Twice early in the game, they were within scoring distance and didn't do it. And if you do that against the number 2 team in the nation, it's not going to work out very well. I don't understand enough about football. I guess because if he's in the shotgun, he's not right behind the center.
Well, here's my opinion on it. You have just made 4th down and 1, 4th and 5. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Because you're taking the snap, 4 yards deep?
Right.
From the line of scrimmage or whatever, or 5 yards?
I don't know.
And I just don't understand that. I do know the game of football has changed. I know that we do a lot of things out of the pistol set and the shotgun, and it's the spread formation. Oh, okay. But when you just need 1 yard, why can't you just get under center, take the snap, and get a yard?
I don't know.
I don't. I just. And that's at every level. I just don't understand. I see that at the professional level. My beloved Bears did that, I think last year. They did the same thing, 4th down and 1, and they lined up in the shotgun, and defense gets penetration, and they get stuffed. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. I just don't get that. When you need a yard, why you would go in the shotgun and take the snap 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage when you only need 1 yard. I just don't get it.
Well,
never have.
It didn't work.
No.
And it didn't help. I don't know that the end result would have been that much difference as far as a win and loss goes, but maybe they would have had enough momentum to stay a little closer in the game than a turnover.
They weren't going to beat Michigan.
No.
Michigan, just much better.
They're very good.
But that's not the gauge. For me, Saturday's game's not the gauge for Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
The 4 games coming up are the gauge as to where Nebraska's at. Because you're playing 4 teams, I would think, at least when you look at the games on paper, Nebraska should be in all of these games, and in my opinion, could win all 4, and hopefully will.
We'll see.
Yep.
We'll see. Injuries, always a factor in football. Saw that yesterday with the Buffalo game where they were victorious but lost 2 or 3 of their best players. So, things can change quickly. Just so you know, because I know you mentioned the other day you weren't following this, the government shutdown has been averted for 45 days. They kicked the can down the road for 45 days. So now more than 2 million active duty and reserve military troops will keep getting paid, along with a lot of other federal workers, including the FCC, FBI, and many others. And kids will get lunch, and they're going to try to rework it. Now the question is, will the extreme little group in the Republican Party get rid of the speaker, because they're threatening to get rid of him now because he cooperated with the Democrats. So we'll have to see how that goes. But, of course, Ukraine, they didn't include any money for Ukraine in this passage, nor money to the southern border. So now they have those 2 to try to include and make work in 45 days. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. They took it right down to the wire, I think 2 or 3 hours out before they passed it in the Senate. Also, former President Jimmy Carter celebrating his 99th birthday. We talked about that last week. He celebrated that with his friends. He was also honored on the White House lawn with a big sign and happy birthday to Jimmy Carter. He turned 99. And, of course, Rosalind, she has dementia, and I think that's part of the reason that they are in hospice care. But he was able to get together with his family last Sunday, and then they had a celebration in Washington, D.C. So that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty neat on the world front. Now, what day is this, ladies and gentlemen? We had, National Beer Day sometime last week, something about national drinking. Now it's World No Alcohol Day.
Oh, okay.
So if it's confusing to you, understandable, but the World Health Organization declared this day as World No Alcohol Day as a way to take a break from the negative effects of booze and hopefully cut down on the incidence of drunk driving. That makes sense. A very important day, one I'm glad they have, National Custodial Workers Recognition Day. If you think your workplace is nice and neat and it just happens overnight magically while you're gone, it does not. People come and clean it up and make sure you have a clean place to work, and at schools, public buildings. So thank you very much. It's hard work, and it's a job well done. Also, the start of the Aranid meteor shower, which will be visible today. The light comes from the tail of Halley's Comet and will peak out on October 21st with as many as 80 meteors an hour expected. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yes.
Now, I'm disappointed to say, it really hurts to say this, but Forbes has released the 400 richest Americans revealed in this report.
You're on the list, aren't you?
No, I am not. Elon Musk probably will be towards the top. I guess they're getting ready to release it. They haven't released it quite yet.
So you might make the list.
Maybe.
I just kind of thought with your side business, the way you charge people for mowing lawns and such, I thought maybe you would be close to the list.
Well, I could be rich on paper, but to be rich, you actually have to have the cash. And I don't have it. Last year's list was topped by Elon Musk. He was worth an estimated $251 billion.
Wow, man.
And Amazon's...
Did you say billion?
Billion with a B.
One person.
One person.
Worth that much.
Yep. Amazon's Jeff Bezos came in a distant second with $151 billion.
A distant second with $151 billion.
$100 billion less than Elon.
Wow.
While Bill Gates was the third richest with a smidge over $100 billion. What I'm disappointed about is that Brad Atkins is not mentioned on this list, and he's filthy rich. He's got to be in the hunt somewhere. I guess when they release the list, we'll find out.
Yeah.
He might not make it because of all the coffee he purchased at Brubaker's in Arnold. I don't know.
I can't imagine. Can you imagine being one person being worth $250 billion? Wow.
Well, they had a special on CBS 60 Minutes last night about the guy who was a billionaire with crypto.
Oh,
And now he's in jail.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because he went broke and maybe did some not so smart things. There's a book coming out about it. That's what it was about on CBS last night. Very interesting. You know, Jeremy had some crypto, I think.
Oh?
Or maybe he had, is it I can't remember which.
Bitcoin or whatever?
Bitcoin. I guess that's crypto. I don't know. We'll have to ask him how that's doing for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I never dabbled in it.
I didn't either. A lot of people did, including some very famous athletes who actually went and did commercials with it, this guy. The book kind of indicates there's a question mark whether this gentleman really was doing bad things on purpose or he was just so eccentric that he really, was out there. So, might be interesting. But Brad Atkins did not make the list last year. They didn't mention him in this, so I don't know if he's going to make it or not. Sure deserves it, because he's filthy, filthy rich. Okay.
That was a deep sigh.
Yeah, I'm working on a little music thing here.
Oh, okay.
Birthdays today. Sting. Actually, his name is Gordon Sumner. He's 72 today. Of course, Every Breath We Take was a big hit for him. When he was with the Police, he's won 17 Grammys and sold more than 100 million records between the band and his solo career. So happy birthday to Sting, 72. Don McLean is 78 today, best known for his American Pie song, but he has some other work that is nice as well. And that was all about the death of Buddy Holly. Brittany Howard is 35 today. She is best known as the lead vocalist and guitarist of Alabama Shakes. And Tiffany is 52 today. I'm looking at you because isn't she an 80s chick?
I think we're alone now.
Oh, Lord, that's a terrible cover.
There doesn't seem to be anyone around.
Please. She's 52 today. She's about your age.
Alone now. Yes. She probably would be. She is my age. I'm 52.
She's 52?
Huh?
I'm not sure what this means. Tiffany, and in parentheses, Darwish. Is that her real first name, maybe?
No idea.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I only know her as Tiffany.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you remember her well. Mike Rutherford is 73, Hall of Fame guitarist for the classic rock band Genesis. And also we had hips with the group Mike and the Mechanics. So happy birthday to those folks. If you're having a birthday today, happy birthday to you. And let's celebrate a little bit with Sting, and then we'll play the game.
October is Pizza Month, so we're going to give you a chance to win a certificate for a free personal pan pizza, one topping at Pizza Hut, if you can answer this question. Many types of pizza are associated with a particular city. You can get any type of pizza you want in Chicago, but it is known as Chicago-style pizza. What makes it that way? Is it A, deep dish, B, it's on thin crust, it's on hand-tossed, or it has no crust at all? When you go to Chicago and you get a Chicago-style pizza, it's all about the crust. So what kind of crust is it? Deep dish, thin crust, hand-tossed, or no crust? If you know the answer, call us at 872-2801.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show with Dave and Brent.
Good morning.
Tie downs, straps, hooking up the trailer, backing up the trailer, undoing the straps, unloading the trailer, parking the trailer. Then you get to start the project. We'll skip straight to getting to work with the help of Ansley Lumber and Supply with their offering of delivery. The only question is, what new hobby will you pick up with that spare time? From whole home packages to reliable brands of shingles, decking, windows, premium lumber, and more. Ansley Lumber, downtown Ansley.
Is pain keeping you from doing what you love? If your neck, shoulders, back, or knees are preventing you from feeling your best, it's time to take action. Whether you've had it for years or it's due to a recent injury, you don't have to live with the pain. Pearson Physical Therapy of Broken Bow offers personalized treatments and flexible appointments that work around your busy schedule. Call Pearson Physical Therapy at 872-5800 or visit us on the web at pearsonpt.com. The treatment you need, the care you deserve.
7:54, and we have a caller on the line. Good morning. Who do we have on the phone?
Sammy.
Sammy, how are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, good. Here's Brent with your question.
Okay, Sammy, many types of pizza are associated with a particular city. You can go to Chicago and get what they call the Chicago-style pizza. What makes it that way? Is it deep dish crust, thin crust, hand-tossed crust, or no crust?
I'd say the deep crust.
Oh, you know it. It's deep dish. That's what makes it Chicago-style. And, Sammy, because you've answered correctly, we have a certificate that's going to get you a free personal pan pizza, one topping, at Pizza Hut. So just come on out and see us when you can, and we'll have your certificate for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sammy. All right. As we mentioned, Mike Rutherford, 73 today, Hall of Fame guitarist for the classic rock band Genesis, and also Mike and the Mechanics.
At the grocery cart, 80% lean ground beef in the 10-pound tube on sale for $3.38 a pound this week. Hormel Natural Choice Boneless Center Cut Pork Chops, $2.98 a pound. Grocery cart's premium aged choice certified Angus beef, eye of round steak or roast, $5.98 a pound. And grocery cart's homemade pork sausage on sale for $3.48 a pound this week. Fresh or frozen, Best Buy boneless, skinless chicken breast fillets are $1.98 a pound. Wimmer's Little Smokies get 2 packages for $8 this week. Smithfield smoked sliced bacon, the packages are $3.98 this week. For the kids, when they get home for a snack, the Oscar Mayer Fun Pack Lunchables are on sale. Get 2 for $5. Gary's Quick Steak, the 12-ounce packages are $5.98. Tyson breaded chicken strips or tenders, $7.98 this week. Some of the other specials you'll find in this week's ad at the GK: Yoplait Go-Gurt, $2.75. Best Choice Butter, 2 varieties, the 1-pound box, $3.25. Pillsbury Crescent Rolls, get 2 for $6. And Kraft Velveeta Cheese Singles, 3 packages for $10. Yoplait Greek 100 Yogurt, 95 cents each this week. In the frozen foods section, the Roma pizzas are on sale for just $2.98. Totino's Pizza Rolls, the packages are $3.98. Kemp's Ice Cream, the big pails, are $7.98 this week. Banquet Basic Dinners, 4 for $5. And the Pick Sweet Vegetables, 2 for $5. Some grocery savings for you this week. Frito-Lay Ruffles, 2 packages for $7. Sunshine Cheez-It Crackers, the big boxes are $3.48. Frito-Lay Doritos, $3.98 a package. Nabisco Family Size Cookies or Crackers, $4.98. Again, for the kids, when they get home from school, how about the Kraft Snack Pack Pudding or Gelatin, 4 for $5. And Pace Salsa or Picante Sauce, 2 for $5 this week. In the produce section, 5-pound bags of russet potatoes get 2 for $5. Michigan Pink Lady apples, the 3-pound bag, 2 for $6. Red or green seedless grapes are on sale for $2.68 a pound. Red ripe slicing tomatoes, $1.28 a pound. Highline whole white mushrooms, the 8-ounce packages are 2 for $3. And a 3-pound bag of new crop yellow onions get 2 for $4. Some other store-wide savings: Kellogg's cereals are on sale for $2.98 a box. Pillsbury cake or brownie mix, 2 for $3. Pompeian olive oil, the 32-ounce bottles, are on sale for $9.98. Famous Dave's cornbread, the boxes are $2.48. Ragu pasta sauce, get 2 for $4. Campbell's chunky or homestyle soup, 2 for $4 for the 16 to 19-ounce cans. Crisco oil, the 40-ounce bottle, on sale for $4.98. Kraft mayonnaise, 30-ounce jars, are on sale for $5.48. And Kraft Miracle Whip, the big 48-ounce jar, on sale for $12.18. Also, we want to let you know, as we go through the month of October, Grocery Cart is going to be rewarding you for buying meat. A chance to be a part of Grocery Cart's VIP Meat Rewards. This will run now through October 28th. Spend $25 in meat in 1 week and earn 1,500 points on your rewards card. Spend $50 in meat in 1 week, earn 2,500 points. Spend $75, earn 5,000 points. Spend $100 in meat in 1 week, get 7,500 points. And if you spend $150 in meat in 1 week, earn 10,000 points. So take advantage of Grocery Cart's VIP Meat Rewards now through October 28th.
All right, thank you, Brent Apperson. News is next.
You are listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Go, go, go! On KCNI, KBBN, Broken Bow, Nebraska.
CBS News Brief. Late-night talk shows, including Stephen Colbert's, return tonight as striking actors begin new talks. ET's Kevin Frazier.
The hope is that now that the writer's deal is done, the actors will sit down at the table, the studios and the actors will bang out a deal and get this thing over with.
Donald Trump's expected in court in New York today for the start of a civil trial brought by State Attorney General Letitia James. CBS's Robert Costa.
James is seeking $250 million in damages and a ban on Trump running any businesses in New York. York.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is facing calls from fellow Republicans for his removal for working with Democrats to avert a government shutdown with no Ukraine aid. CBS's Ramy Inocencio.
Ukraine's foreign ministry says that American support is both steadfast and bipartisan. In 45 days, when the next U.S. budget needs to be passed, we'll find out if that's more wishful thinking.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
In Nebraska news, multiple people were injured after a rollover crash in Hall County early this morning. According to the Hall County Sheriff's Office, the accident happened around 1:30 this morning near the intersection of Airport Road and St. Paul Road. Multiple units were at the scene early this morning assisting with the accident. At the time of this story, the extent of injuries or the cause of death was not known. The accident is still under investigation. Several rural fire departments battled a graze fire east of Milford on Saturday. According to the Seward Volunteer Fire Department, the fire started at 2:45 p.m. near 196th and O Street roads. Sergeant Troy Schaefer with the Seward County Sheriff's Office said the fire was caused by an abandoned camper. The camper caught fire while it was being towed, and the driver left it on the side of the road along Highway 6, where the fire eventually spread. The Seward County Sheriff's Office said that as of 5:42 p.m. on Saturday, the fire had been contained. The Sheriff's Office ordered an emergency evacuation of residents earlier in the day, but that evacuation was canceled. The Seward Volunteer Fire Department said the fire started as a call from Pleasant Dale, but got assistance from Seward, Garland, and Milford departments. According to the Nebraska Department of Transportation, I-80 was reopened. It was closed earlier in the day from Milford between exit 382 and 395.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
Checking Sunday's action from Week 4 in the NFL. Sunday night, the Chiefs hold off the Jets for a 23-20 road win. Kansas City's now 3-1 on the season. Bills handle the Dolphins 48-20. Miami gets its first loss, and both teams are now 3-1 on the year. Eagles needed overtime to get by the Commanders 34-31. Philadelphia's 4-0. So is San Francisco after taking care of the Cardinals 34-16. Broncos get their first win with a 31-28 road win over the Bears. Chicago's 0-4. Rams needed overtime to knock off the Colts on the road 29-23. Ravens beat the Browns 28-3. Baltimore's 3-1. Bengals are 1-3 after losing to the Titans 27-3. Buccaneers down the Saints on the road 26-9. Tampa Bay 3-1. Cowboys are 3-1 after roughing up the Patriots 38-3. Chargers down the Raiders 24-17. Texans handle the Steelers 30-6. Vikings get their first win beating the Panthers on the road 21-13. Carolina 0-4. Jaguars beat the Falcons 23-7 in London.
Here's a look at your weatherology forecast. High temperatures pushing up into the upper 80s for today with mostly sunny skies. Lower winds breezy out of the south at 15 to 25. Then for tonight, mostly cloudy, a chance for some late night showers and storms, 62. Tuesday, showers and storms then more likely. We're back to highs in the mid-70s, and even cooler on Wednesday, clearing skies, 67. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Michael Caro.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situations change? Hi, I'm Janet Lawhorn.
And I'm Tim McCaslin.
Your local Edward Jones financial advisors. When we work together, we'll focus on what's important to you.
We'll create a personalized financial strategy backed by our advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we'll partner to help your strategy stay on track, no matter what happens. Contact us today at 308-872-6849 or visit edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
You're listening to The Breakfast Show, and our temperature is 66 degrees outside. We have a mostly clear sky. Winds are out of the south at about 5 to 15 this morning. As we mentioned, yesterday's high was 87, an overnight low of 64, and we have no rain in the gauge so far this month. We ended up last month with 2 inches and 81 hundredths. That's a look at weather and news on this Monday morning. As we mentioned, a birthday celebrating. We're going to celebrate birthdays with their music today. And we are celebrating the sounds of Alabama Shakes. The lead vocalist today is 35, Brittany Howard. Here we go.
Wake up to the best.
I never miss a morning.
You're listening to The Breakfast Show.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Ooh, hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
Active Liver is one of many award-winning health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at Amazon.com or for a volume discount, visit newnordicusa.com. Available as a tablet or delicious sugar-free gummy. Protect and help your liver the easy and effective way with Active Liver at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
11 past the hour of 8 o'clock. You're listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. We appreciate that very much. Good morning to Sarah, who dropped us a note in our chat box this morning. And before we move forward here with our first guest of the day, I want to back up and let you know that the Prairie Pioneer Center today is having spaghetti, California blend, fruit, and breadsticks. Call them at 872-6121 before 9 o'clock this morning. Let them know that you're coming. And they have suggested free will donations for those meals, but they'd love to have you stop by. Custer County Economic Development Head is Keith Ellison. He is in the studio, and he has brought a guest with him today. How you doing, Keith?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
Good. Happy Monday to you.
Happy.
No, happy to you, too.
Well, thank you. Happy.
Oh, I recognize that wonderful laugh. Who did you bring with it?
Well, we have Joyce Richardson here with runs the restaurants. And Joyce,
good morning.
Joyce was our chairman for 2 years, 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yep.
Yeah, so I wanted to have Joyce share her perspective on the Custer Economic Development Corporation.
Well, when Joyce gets into something, I'm going to embarrass her a little bit. She doesn't get in part way. She doesn't get in a quarter of the way. She gets in full steam ahead. And so,
really?
Yes, as the leader for a couple of years, I know that certainly had to help form your overall opinion of how important economic development is in this group.
Very much so, and it was such a learning opportunity. I gained much more than I gave, I can tell you that. When you get into the inner workings of the organization and realize everything that's happening, and just, it's amazing. You don't know, even as a member, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes, and so much in economic development has to be held in such high confidentiality that even now there might be 2 or 3 people working on something that the rest of even the committee, the executive team doesn't even know about because it can't be told at that point. But there's a lot happening all the time.
And there's some real challenging issues out there right now that are being addressed. Keith has talked about it a lot in the meetings and here on the air. Housing, of course, is right up at the top of the list. The other one that really seems to need attention and some success on is child care.
Absolutely, yes. Wow. If it's kind of a vicious circle, but if you don't have the child care, you're not going to get the workforce, and that's probably the third thing: housing, child care, and workforce. That just all three need such great attention. We experienced, as everybody did, year and a half ago, it was such a terrible shortage of workforce, and then kind of felt like it leveled out there for a while, but we're kind of back. I think everybody, you see the signs, we're back in that spot again, everywhere. Yeah, and most folks know that you're involved, you and Kevin are with Runza, and have a very successful business there, but it is challenging to keep the slots filled with the people, isn't it? It is. It's very challenging, and people continually say, "Where did everybody go?" And I don't know that anybody knows that answer. The one thing somebody shared with me once was that, so many baby boomers retired during COVID, and maybe they hadn't quite planned to do it at that point, and then they made the point that generation, those baby boomers, they didn't work just 40 hours a week. So now it's taken about 2 people to replace every one baby boomer, because they were the ones that stayed and worked at night and worked weekends and came back in, and that just doesn't happen anymore. And so it's taking more people to replace that number of people. I don't know. One theory. And where I know you are willing to hire young workers. Correct me if I'm wrong here, because I'm not being critical here. It just seems to be, looking from the outside in, that young people are involved in so many activities anymore. There's not as many kids that say, you know what, I'm not going to be involved in activities. I'm going to work all the time. I don't know that that's that common anymore. Is it not? Yeah. You're absolutely correct. I think the culture has changed, with sports and. Now if a kid wants to be on, I'll just say, the basketball team, they don't just play basketball during that season. Right. Their summer, if they want to commit to basketball, their summer is filled up with camps and weightlifting and all of those kind of things. It's just different. It is different. And there's very little time for the students to work. Yeah. Just that's the fact. Yes, that's the fact. So you're also, of course, I know, owner of real estate. You have rentals and so forth that you offer to the community as well. So you see that end of it as well. Yes. And, we get calls all the time, people looking for places. And I always say, I wish I had 10 more places this week, because I probably could have filled them. Yeah. But, and again, if you don't have childcare, if you don't have housing, you're not going to have a workforce. And I see that with employees. If they don't have a babysitter, they can't come to work. Yeah. It's simple as that. You don't leave your toddlers home alone. No. It's a really big struggle. So you've been involved in the Economic Development Group for a long time, and you're one of those people that are involved in a lot of things in the community. A lot of this work is going on behind the scenes, as you mentioned. There's a lot of it that you can't talk about. And I know I can sometimes feel the frustration when Keith's in here, because he'd like to talk a little bit more about what's actually happening, and can't keep my mouth shut. You can't do it. Right. Can't do it. But as the chair for 2 years, you probably saw a lot more of that
and maybe you still do, but there's a lot going on, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. And I guess what, thinking of being a member in CEDC, Economic Development here in Custer County, you just realize that so many things that are happening, no one person or one business could do it on their own. It takes working together. It takes all of it. We all pay our membership, and, we all have bills, and sometimes you think, oh, is it worth putting that money in, blah, blah, blah. When we all put into the pot, it's amazing what can be done. I mean, first of all, that money goes to hire a director such as Keith. But then secondly, for, example, like prior to Keith and some of Keith's time as well, but, then so much time was spent on working on housing. And that couldn't be done by just one person. I mean, these housing grants are unbelievably time consuming with a lot of information and months worth of work that goes into that. To apply and to then actually get some of those housing grants.
Yeah, it's to be careful what you ask for, because once you get the grant, then it's all the administration.
Administration, exactly. It involves a lot, and it's ongoing. But just like for us personally, as members, Brian Palmer, who you speak with quite regularly out here, our manager at Runza, he was able to get one of those trust fund houses, and it made a huge difference for our business for him to have housing. So
it all does fit together.
It
and
does
there's a lot
fit
going
together.
On. Yeah. Well, I think that it's worth every time we have this subject on the air that we do let people know, Keith, that there's work being done. You have Scotty Ross now with you, who helps you with some of those things. I think sometimes when we hear that there's a grant awarded, that everybody smiles and shakes hands and says, well, that's great, but then the work just really begins.
Yeah. It's just so hard to describe. It's just a constant reporting system, and then beyond just the normal reporting structure you have, then the state will contact you, well, what about this or what about that? And it's something you haven't had any awareness of at all, so you got to do all the research behind it. And so it just takes that much time, and you have to do it right. I mean, there's no shortcuts when you come to reporting to the state. So, and that's the way it should be. And so we that's why Scotty is in there, and she's so bright and has picked it up so well as far as grant administration goes. So she's doing a great job.
All right. Now, talk a little bit. I don't know if a lot of people are kind of up to speed. We've had some reporting on it. You've talked about it, about the historic designation here in Broken Bow that you're working on.
Oh, the Creative District?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've named it the Bandstand on the Bricks, and it's sponsored by the Nebraska Arts Council. And the basic summary of that is it's integrating arts and humanities into economic development. That's just a real short summation of this really complex grant project. But it's funds that can be used for location, destination events. It can be used for infrastructure in the Creative District, which is a designated boundary with about 118 businesses within it. It can be used for sidewalk repair. One thing that we would like to at least be considered is the upper level of some of these downtown business buildings that can be developed for housing or for purpose. And so those are just some quick summaries of some of the things that we've just jabbered about.
Yeah.
And we're in the middle now of doing a survey with the business community on what these funds can be used for. It's a 2-phase grant project. Right now we're completing a 43-page application, close to being done. And so once we get that in, then and it's approved, then we can be designated as a creative district, and then we get the first grant's $10,000, and that can be used for branding. It can be used for a number of different kind of implementation processes that we need going into the second level, which is the $250,000 grant. And the great thing about it is it's not a match for the businesses. They don't have to put any money into it. And that's the first phase of this. And then the second phase is going to be once we develop whatever goals and that we want out of this, then longer term there'll be some needs for funding, because it will be a continuous $250,000. And so, but I think there'll be a way where if the program goes well, we can go back and apply for more. But the first step is to get this application in and then get into the 2 phases of the grants, and that's what that's all about.
And that kind of leads me back around to something that I think Joyce knows a little bit about, and that's the presentation of the community when people come through and you hear people say, "Oh man, I really love that square with the bandstand there, and we like coming up Highway 2 and stopping in Broken Bow because it's a friendly community and it's just a neat downtown area," and that could be improved with some of the things you're talking about. Joyce, how important is tourism, passerbys down Highway 2 to your business?
Oh, I can't even speak to how important it is. It's amazing. Yeah. Yes. And just last night we had a conversation at our annual awards banquet about how much traffic is on Highway 2. But we hear that all the time about people saying, "We love Broken Bow. We love to come through here. This is always our stopping point." We hear that all the time because if they're coming from the west, it is their stopping point usually. Yeah. And we get see a lot of traffic like headed to Lincoln for Saturday ball games and those kind of things. And Broken Bow is their stopping point. We hear it repeatedly.
Well, when you live in a community, I think it's natural after a while you kind of forget about how it looks to people.
You do.
You look at it every day. When you travel, you probably have a place or two along the way on your last trip that you said, "I'd like to go back to that." Yep. I enjoyed that one spot or that a couple of spots along the way, and we want to be that spot.
And I think the other piece of that, Dave, it's not just the physical place, but it's how people make you feel when you're there.
Oh, great point.
It's how you feel when you're in that place.
It really is.
Do people make you feel like it's a place you want to return to or not?
Yeah.
And that takes me to Junk Jaunt, which I know is controversial because of the traffic, but I hear and see sometimes such negative comments about Junk Jaunt. And it's a huge economic driver for this community, absolutely huge.
Yeah.
And so to hear people run it down, it really, really bothers me because, those are the kind of weekends that give places like Runza the ability to have money to donate when people come in the door about every other day wanting donations for whether it's
great point.
Charity auctions or whether it's, you do too, I'm sure, get hit up, but it's amazing how much we get asked for donations for stuff at the fairgrounds, for stuff at the different schools in the community. Those kind of weekends are the ones that help make it possible that we can do that.
Yeah, you have those peaks every once in a while.
Absolutely.
Well, I think, for 2 or 3 days you can put up with a little bit of congestion and traffic, and I would liken it to, forgive me out there, I hope I'm not making anybody mad, but deer season. It's a little bit crazy out in the country and in town when we have the 2 weekends and
that brings great traffic to us as well.
Yeah, but we know that when that 2-week period is in that we're going to be seen, we want to be a little more aware out on the country roads, out on the highways and downtown. People are, I don't know what it is, because you see it in other towns too, but when you're a stranger in a town, for some reason you think you have the right to do a U-turn. Oh, there's a parking spot over there.
Yes.
And you don't have to be a junk johnner. You can be, just somebody traveling through. So when we have guests, we just have to, like you do in your home, you're going to make some exceptions. You're going to do some things to make sure they're good. We talked to some folks, Brent, that day. We were out at the fairgrounds from Manitoba, Canada, from Kentucky, from all over the country, who make it an annual event to come to that junk jaunt.
It does, exactly.
I have a quick little story. The other night I was out for dinner, and there was a senior couple they were there, and I got to talking to them, and they were from Wichita. And a couple years ago, they came through Broken Bow. I don't remember where they were going at that time, but they stayed in Broken Bow, and they said the people here were wonderful, and they met some people, and they've had ongoing communications with them, and so they're on a trip. Late last week, they were on a trip back up to the Rapid City area, and so they said they had to come through Broken Bow because of the people here and the way they were treated, and so you gotta commend the people of Broken Bow that have that welcoming attitude and brings people back.
Absolutely. I was at a shop in Lincoln some years ago, and as I was checking out, the lady was asking me where I was from, and I said Broken Bow, and she goes, "Oh my gosh," she said, "My husband goes online probably every week and looks at housing in Broken Bow." She said, "I don't think we'll ever move there, but we spent a weekend there once,"
so
and
cool.
she said, "We just love going there. Like, we'll go for a weekend and walk around your square and stuff." And she said, "So he's always looking at housing. Don't think we would ever leave Lincoln, but he looks at housing all the time."
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
The other side of that, and I know that you're aware of this through the Custer County Economic Development, is that our communities in Custer County, they have people, we hear of it all the time, who have people that were in one of our smaller communities for whatever reason, coming back maybe to for some event, to see family or whatever the case, and they end up doing that same thing, going, you know what, I like that little community, and we're going to try to move there. And there's a lot more of that goes on than you think.
Oh, there's stories of people that moved to those communities because they went there that first time and had such a welcoming experience, and so they actually moved there. I mean, you can't get it any better than that.
Yeah. Is that really one of the benefits of having summer celebrations and those sorts of things, where it gives people a reason to come back, and you know, when you're having a celebration in a community, it kind of highlights them. They shine a little bit.
Yeah.
I think those are still very important.
I think about when I went back home for an alumni, some years back, but at our every place at the table, and in Ainsworth, alumni banquet is huge. But there was a thing they wanted you to fill out about, would you ever move back or something. And I remember at our table, it's like, oh, I can't believe they really put these, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then as I was leaving, I saw a couple that was just a year ahead of me in school. And I heard him say, "I want to take this because we've been thinking about this." Well, long story short, they've now been there I don't know how many years. But, I mean, he had retired as a school administrator and went back and did several years for the schools there. And they're plugged into the community like you would not believe. And, you know, those things matter. Those invitations and those kind of events matter.
And those things just don't happen. It's the quality of the people, the welcoming environment. It's an intentional thing, and you might not think it is, but it's an intentional thing that when you get a visitor coming through town, and they experience that because they don't get that everywhere,
right?
And so they appreciate it when they do get it.
Well, I think the folks out there listening who have traveled, taken trips before, you don't get that everywhere.
No, you
As a matter of fact, sometimes you think, man, I don't even think they want me here.
Yeah.
in particular spots. So it is important. But again, we go back to the beginning here. Jobs are available. We need more child care. We need more homes for people to live in if they do decide they want to come here. And especially the people who aren't baby boomers that are raising their families now and decide they want to, I want to get out of the larger place and live in a smaller town where I can have the kids walk to school if they're not too far away and that sort of thing. That's really inviting, but we got to have the homes for them to. And I have to also, I'll stick my neck out here a little bit. I've noticed that young families, a lot of them, they're not looking for an old fixer-upper. They're looking for a house with a two-car garage. You know, they want to they want to roll when they get here.
Right.
So.
Yep, definitely.
Okay. All right. Joyce, it's always great having you in.
Thanks. Good to be back in the seat again.
Good to have you in. Now, Keith, you did have the gathering yesterday, and you always have awards and so forth that are handed out.
Yeah, we try to honor some people that every year that have an impact on economic development, either at the local level within their community or the leadership in the community. So We had 4 award winners last night. We had the Tourism Innovator Award, which was the Sod House project out at the barn. I think there were 16 or so people there representing that organization at the banquet or picnic last night, and that was a nice, really nice award for them. The second one was a Business Innovator Award, and that was the Ansley Housing Investment Group, and they well-deserved honor for them for all work and the vision. I mean, I don't want to get into this too far, but economic development is all about vision and then implementing it. And so they had a great vision, and now they're implementing that. And so you can see the work that the success they've had from it. So they were honored last night. One of our real special honors is the Will Horse Award, and that went to Ken Pitkin from Callaway. Mr. Callaway. He does everything that you ask him to do and more, and he's just a great ambassador for all of Custer County.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He's very huggable. He's very huggable.
That's a good one. And then our last one was the Founding Father Award, which we honored Lauren Taylor, who's retired and from the CEDC Executive Committee and has done so much. He was a charter member of the organization way back 20-some years ago. And so we honored Lauren and Shar last night for their dedication and commitment and the stories that were told about him. And it was a win-win-win, Lauren. He just really says, we got to do it, we're going to do it, and we did it. And so it was fun to listen to the stories last night about what he did and his contribution to economic development. So
great awards, great people, and well-deserved, all of them. And Lauren has been pretty amazing over the years, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, he I think probably, just guessing here, but he was probably on some other economic development groups before this one.
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think he's always been involved in that. So
that's a good point.
If I remember right, I think he was kind of the one that got things going. This was years ago when the Chamber of Commerce had the ambassadors, and they would recognize new businesses or groups that were meeting in town. A group of us would go welcome a group, and Lauren was, as I remember, the driving force behind that.
Yeah. He also was very involved in when the car manufacturer crisis was taking place, and looked like we were going to lose some dealerships.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
that was mentioned last night.
Yeah.
He really fought for that.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, he would not let that happen.
Yep.
We did some broadcasting down in the park, and he was all over it. I mean, he was doing it. And so, yeah, and the other award winners, all kidding aside, Ken Pitkin is something else as far as the amount of time he spends supporting his community.
Yes.
And that's wonderful. Ansley has really shined. We always say you need to pull off the highway and drive into Ansley and take a look around, because they really have made some improvements there.
They just finished their 4th brand new house down there.
House.
That's
without any grant funding.
Right.
It's amazing what they've done.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And the Sod House goes right into what we were talking about. There's going to be a whole bunch of people that have heard about this Sod House and will make this an actual destination just to come and see that, along with the Red Barn.
Well, what they tell us last night, that somebody was just out there working. The barn is now closed for the season, but somebody was out there doing some things and said there was probably 20 people out there wandering around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that had stopped. So it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty neat. And I know they... Rick Moss and Mike Evans and the Adams family that put the roof on, and then all the volunteers. They'd been wanting to do that for quite a long time, but we didn't have. We had dry years where you couldn't do it.
And we need to mention the Thursday event.
Oh, October 5th. Yeah, there's the pie contest, and then the designation of the
ribbon cutting for the Sod House.
Right, that's going to be a lot of fun.
I think that's 4:30-ish, 4 o'clock, 4:30.
Yeah, I've got the sheet here, Keith. I'll look at it here. You can drop your pies off between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. And by the way, if you're unable to do that, the Custer County Chief will pick up your pie for you if you call him at 872-2471. So that's from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. And then the sod house ribbon cutting, excuse me, is at 5:30. And then Karen Wyatt Dravo will also be doing a presentation. Her family grew up on a farm north of Unadilla and received her education in a one-room county school, and she's going to talk about what that was like. And then she also did a lot of study on her family's history out on the prairie and so forth. And she has given lots of presentations all over the country, and she is currently the Norfolk librarian at the public library there.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So she'll be speaking, and my wife Joan knows her very well, and she's seen her presentations. She said they're fun and lively, and it won't be a boring presentation. So lots of good things happening there on Thursday, October 5th. I think we plan to broadcast from there, although I think it will be a little cooler, Brent, than what we've been used to.
That's okay with me.
Okay, cool.
I wonder if we can just go in the Saudi and broadcast from inside the Saudi. I guess that's kind of an even temperature in there. So,
supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be a big day.
It is a big
really
day.
Big day. So we're looking forward to that. And again, thank you to all those award winners. And I know there's many other people along the way that helped them get what they accomplished done.
It's a partnership in economic development. This one person can't do it by themselves. You have to have that partnership and that will, I guess, from the people that are committed to it, that they're going to get it done. That's the difference. If you don't have that, we're just all spinning our wheels.
Yeah.
And we're not spinning our wheels here in Custer County.
That's fantastic. Joyce, before we let you go, personal question.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Is Kevin getting any fishing in or any golfing in?
Both in the last few days.
The last few days?
Yeah.
Well, good for him.
Yep. I think Friday, let's see. Yep, Friday he fished all day and Saturday he golfed all day. He's happy.
I bet he's very happy.
He's very happy, yeah.
Well, that's a good sign. That means
it is, and I'm happy if he's happy. So, yep, he's worked a lot of years to be able to go do that.
I guess he has.
I'm glad he can do it.
Little history lesson here again. When Kevin and yours came here, that was through the Pizza Hut. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
40 years ago.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, it was 40 years ago. We came through Pizza Hut and did that for 27, 28 years. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then, actually, it was kind of through economic development that we found out about Runza coming to town. That was, Kevin was visiting with the then economic developer, and just offhand conversation, I hear Runza's coming, and the economic developer said, yeah, are you interested? Because their operator fell through, and
that's the way that happened.
One thing led to another, and that's how it happened. It wasn't that we had this grand idea to bring Runza to town. So, yeah, that's how it all happened.
Right place, right time.
A simple suggestion and a couple of phone calls, and that's how it happened.
Man, amazing. That's a great story. That's a great conclusion to our conversation.
Yes, very much so. And
go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say quickly, too, and then after we had been open some time and we were realizing how much of a struggle we were having with employee parking, as to where they would park and so forth. And long story short, it's when Deb was the executive director for CEDC, Deb McCaslin.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of knew we were looking, and again, one of those confidentiality things. She also knew that the Kitkas were interested in that Elko building, and she knew that they didn't need near as much parking as a furniture store, and that with both of our permission, she brought the two of us together. We didn't know what was on the other side of that, and worked it out for that parking lot and so forth. So
made for good neighbors.
It was a long process, but we got her done.
Fantastic. Well, there's a good example, Keith.
That's another example of economic development that helped us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that fancy term for that is networking. But,
yes, networking.
But the real term is having a conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Joyce Richardson with Custer County Economic Development Corporation, doing good things here in Custer County. We'll take a time out or two with these words.
Aero Aviation is happy to have served the area since 1971, and they look forward to serving you for years to come. Their aircraft is equipped with the latest in GPS guidance and flow control technology, and they're always searching for the next big thing in aviation. Contact Casey and Melissa Williams at 872-5113 and talk to them about your fall pasture spraying. That's Aero Aviation, proud to serve Custer County and surrounding areas.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situations change? Hi, I'm Janet Lawhorn.
And I'm Tim McCaslin.
Your local Edward Jones financial advisors. When we work together, we'll focus on what's important to you.
We'll create a personalized financial strategy backed by our advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we'll partner to help your strategy stay on track, no matter what happens. Contact us today at 308-872-6849 or visit edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Been scouting for that trophy buck? AeroSeed has game cameras to do the job for you. Moultrie's white flash trail cameras are the perfect scouting tool for hunters and wildlife watchers. There's one for every need and budget. With 30 years of experience, Moultrie is known for its products that are reliable, durable, top performing, and affordable. Also available at AeroSeed are supplements and gravity feeders to promote health and antler growth. Stop into AeroSeed in Broken Bow to learn more about game cameras and supplements to enhance your wildlife experiences.
Gary's Superfoods online at garysuperfoods.com. Right now, when you buy 10-pound tubes of 85% lean ground beef, you only pay $4.29 a pound. USDA Choice Boneless Beef Bottom Round Rotisserie Roast is $4.99 a pound. 3-pound bags of Open Acres mandarins or navel oranges are $3.99. Start your morning with our family premium orange juice, only $2.99. And fresh pressed apple juice or cider is $1.69. Gary's Superfoods, South B Street in Broken Bow, open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day.
Sure, we've been scaring the bejeebers out of you at Knee-Knocker Woods for 10 years now, but it ain't all scary. New this season, Grandma Grimm's Jack-o'-lantern Jaunt is perfect for brave children and skittish grown-ups. It's all the fun without the fright. Plus all kind of games to play, monstrously good eats, and a gift shop that'll make your Halloween complete. Knee-Knocker Woods in Gibbon is open every weekend in October. Pick up your discount coupon at Pump and Pantry.
Don't be scared, Daddy. I'll hold your hand.
Get your tickets now at KneeKnockerWoods.com.
Harvest is here. Bruning Bank enables you to manage your finances from the field, combine, grain cart, or wherever you are with 24/7 access to your accounts. Check your balances with mobile banking, keep up with spending with at-a-glance account review, and enjoy the many uses and advantages of My Card. Learn more at bruningbank.com. Bruning Bank is extremely grateful for all the farmers and everyone who helps with harvest. Bruning Bank, member FDIC.
Does the thought of turning 65 give you nightmares? It doesn't have to. Hi, this is Liana with Nebraska Owners Insurance Agency. And as an independent agent, I work with the major insurance companies that you're getting mail and phone advertising from. If you're feeling overwhelmed with the options, give me a call to set up an appointment. We will go through the Medicare process step by step, from signing up to enrolling in the necessary supplement and Part D drug plans. You don't have to do this alone. Nebraska Owners Insurance Agency is here to help. Call me at 836-2201 or stop in at the office in Callaway.
The Food for Youth Challenge is underway, and our KCNI KBBN studios are a drop-off point. Last year's Food for Youth campaign collected over 5,500 snacks and meals for Custer County backpack programs and food pantries. With your help, we can beat that number this year. Through October 18th, bring canned food items, boxed food, peanut butter, or gift cards to our local grocery stores to our studios. Together, we'll fill those backpacks and food shelves so the youth in our area can avoid hunger. Dave and Brent.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. On KCNI KBBN Radio.
Varney Health Mart in Broken Bow invites you to one of their upcoming flu shot clinics. It's as simple as walking through their door just off the square in Broken Bow. The high dose for those ages 65 and older is available, as well as the regular dose. No appointment is necessary. The next flu shot clinic is Tuesday the 3rd, with many more scheduled in the future if you can't make it. Flu shot clinics at Varney Health Mart, Broken Bow. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
October is one of our favorite months at Team Physical Therapy because it's National Physical Therapy Month. October is focused on promoting the benefits of physical therapy, the importance of movement in our everyday lives, and overall wellness. Team Physical Therapy offers many therapies to help. Stop by one of our locations in Broken Bow, Burwell, Callaway, Gothenburg, and Kearney, or call 872-5111. Here's to the month of celebrating physical therapy from Team Physical Therapy.
Winter, spring, summer, or fall. Now all you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yeah, yeah, yeah. You've got a friend.
Sometimes life changes just like the seasons. Do you have the right accounts for where you're at in life? Call or stop by any NSB branch in Broken Bow, Myrna, or Callaway, and they'll be there. Nebraska State Bank, member FDIC.
You've got a friend.
8:48. We have some more friends in the studio here. As we promised, the Broken Bow Rotary would be represented today, and Robert Staub is here, and he brought along a special guest with him as well. Robert, how you doing?
Doing well. Thank you very much. How are you today?
Well, I'm good. I was loving talking with you guys about the basement of Ben Franklin's.
Yeah, so I was in Bruning Bank, which now sits where Ben Franklin used to be, and one of their tellers was telling me a little while back here that the basement from Ben Franklin is actually still under there. Electricity's all disconnected, and she told me that it is quite creepy to go down there, but it is still there, is what I was told.
Still there. There could be some toys down there.
Yeah.
I wonder if
haunted
arrangements could
slinky.
be made to go see if there's maybe a slinky or some puzzles down there.
You'll have to go in. I'll bet you they'd be a bit more inclined if you opened an account or something.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe if you'd open an account, they'd take you on a tour downstairs.
There you go.
Yes. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then Ben Franklin's was over on the other corner where the museum is.
Ben Franklin.
Or excuse me, Hested's.
Yeah, Hested's was over where the museum is now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she had 2 dime stores going. They called them dime stores, right?
Yeah, that, and my dad always talks about the station that was on the corner. You know, if we're strolling down memory lane, he always tells me about a gas station that sits where I think Prairie Grounds is now. I'd need somebody to confirm that because I was not alive back then.
That was a mobile station.
Mobile station. There you go.
And the McLuhans ran that. I believe his name was Ralph. His son was the famous football player for Nebraska that played for the Oakland Raiders.
Really?
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a trip down memory lane there. I wasn't even alive when that stuff was around.
Stop it, Robert. Stop it. You're killing me, man. You're just killing me.
I do what I can.
Yeah, that was... you get your oil changed about where you go in and sit down at the Prairie Grounds now where the booths are. That's about where you got your oil changed.
Really?
Well, now the layout of Prairie Grounds makes sense. I was just trying to pull in there today, and before I realized they were closed because I wanted to get coffee, but it's like I always wondered why it was like that.
Yeah, it makes more sense now.
Yeah.
The east end, get my directions right, Brent. The east end of that building was the Red Feather Cafe, and it was just a little cafe. It was really small, had maybe 1 table and chairs, and then a counter with the stools, and it was Red Feather, and that's where the bus stop was.
Really?
So that's where you went to get on the bus to go to GI or Lincoln.
A bus stop, too?
Yeah.
Oh, my word. We could seriously have a history crawl in this town. We could have a creepy history crawl. We could have a just a back in the day history crawl. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Led by Dave.
Yes.
I'm old enough I can help you because I'm thinking about where the one box wall is, and that was Central Nebraska Drug. Do you remember that, Robert, at all?
No, I remember when there was a doctor's office behind there, but that's
yeah.
I mean, that's
yeah.
I gotta remember, Dave. I'm only 33.
Oh, jeez.
Almost 33. You're not.
Oh, don't you rat me out now.
Okay, guys, you want to talk about Rotary?
Absolutely.
Yes.
We've been having a lot of fun, trying to kind of regroup after the human trafficking events that we've had here in town, which, extremely successful. Fox Theater was really big on that. Truckers Against Trafficking. It was a great event all around. But yeah, kind of recentering and taking a look at what we got coming up. Rotary has the Pints for Polio out to Kincaidor again this year.
Okay.
That'll be October 25th from 5 to 9 p.m. So I encourage everybody to come out, get a glass. It comes with a token for a free beer. So encourage everybody to come out and support a great cause. You know, we're actually, as a global community, are very, very close to eradicating polio permanently. There were, and of course, I don't have my numbers in my head right now, but the number of cases had dropped to the point where there is a big possibility that by the end of this year, if there are no new confirmed cases, it may be on its way out as of this year.
Fantastic. And I think it might surprise people that it's still out there, but it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have the Iron Lung out to Kincaidor, as always, for everybody to see. So it's a great event, not just for adults, but, bring your kids out and order them a root beer and just let them see kind of some of the history on this disease that once upon a time was really, really prevalent. It affected a lot of families, and it took a lot of people. So it's something that definitely, it's a piece of history that we want to make sure that future generations are aware that, this was, before COVID and everything like that, polio was a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and it has been, in the smaller countries or the third world countries. A couple years ago, they had a small, what looked like it was going to try and be an outbreak in, I believe it was Malaysia.
Not
but
sure.
Because of the efforts that Rotary has done to eradicate polio in conjunction with the CDC, we've been able to keep that from spreading and been able to keep it at bay. And yeah, it's getting smaller and smaller. It's becoming less and less of a threat every day. So.
All right. On the local level, as far as the actual Rotary Club goes, I imagine we need to spend a little time talking about getting the invitation out for people to come and join, right?
Absolutely. That's kind of the second point of things I wanted to talk about today. Our local Rotary Club, we do a lot of fundraising. We do a lot of volunteer work, helping out in the community, just trying to help Broken Bow and its surrounding communities be better. Just whether it's park improvements or public health, things like that. Rotary's just very, very involved, and we would love to have people who are passionate about helping out in their community and being one of those folks that, when you walk down the street, they go, hey, that isn't just John Doe, that's John Doe Rotarian. I saw him serving soup, or I saw him at a fundraiser the other day. And it's not only good for the community, it's good personally. It's always nice to walk down the street and know I helped build that, and there are kids playing on it now. It's a good feeling. It looks good on, a resume for people out there, professionals who are thinking about, hey, what can I do to get involved and make myself professionally look a little bit better. Rotary actually started as a group of professionals, I believe, in Chicago, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah. So that's actually how Rotary started, was professional networking and
getting involved in their communities and making changes. I believe the first thing was adding, they were adding, I have to look this up again, but it was like adding toilets in the subways. That was one of their first projects.
Really? Never heard that.
So that, people in the community would have access to bathrooms, basically.
That's pretty important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've been to New York. The subways always could use whatever help they could get.
Yes.
Yeah. They could do that over again. Probably. Yeah.
But yeah, so we actually have a meeting coming up this week up at the hospital. As always, our meetings are at noon, and the hospital is nice enough to let us come in and get some lunch. So if you are so inclined, I would invite anybody from the community who would like to know what we're about or like to know more ways to get involved to come on up to one of our lunchtime meetings and just sit and listen, if nothing else. Or if you have something that's really been on your heart that you want to bring to the Rotary Club and ask for help with, come on up. Let us know what you're after.
Okay, all right. By the way, the meal's always excellent.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The price is right, so.
They had these porcupine meatballs a couple weeks ago, and I got to tell you, they're like a Swedish steak, a Swiss steak.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, it's been a long time since I've had something like that. It was really, really nice.
Well, it brought back more memories, right? Now, Robert, we didn't actually introduce your...
Oh, this is
partner.
my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So last week...
it's been a while since I've been in here.
You've been in before.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been fighting illness. My children have been fighting illness, so it's just been...
Oh,
yeah.
Darn it. Well,
yeah.
I got to follow up on your statement earlier about... and your first name, I'm sorry.
Oh, Michaela.
Michaela.
Yeah.
Michaela will really want to go into the basement of Ben Franklin's, 'cause look at her outfit there.
Yes.
She's
I'm ready.
quite... She gets pretty into the Halloween spirit.
I see that.
Tastefully tacky.
We got all our Halloween lights. Yes,
Yeah.
Halloween lights hung up yesterday. Sister-in-law came over and helped with that. So Halloween's a big deal at our house.
It must be because it was pretty windy to put up lights yesterday.
Yeah, well, you can't tell my sister-in-law no.
I guess not. I guess not. So if somebody out there is listening and they want to know more about Rotary, Robert, they contact you?
Yep, they can contact myself. My number is 308-870-1915. Or reach out to some local members of the community that are involved in Rotary. My lovely wife, Michaela. Keith, who was just in here.
Mm-hmm.
He is an active Rotarian. Deb or Norm McCaslin. Tim or Jess McCaslin. They've got a family thing going on there. We love having them around,
Right.
got to tell you. Colleen from... Adams,
Mm-hmm.
I think
Trish McCarran.
Trish would be a good one.
Yep. So there's lots of community members that are all over the place. I mean, people know them, and stop any one of them. Ask them about Rotary. They'd be happy to talk to you about it. And they may be scowling at the radio right now for me throwing them under the bus, but I tell you right now, at the end of the day, they would love talking to you about Rotary.
They'll take care of it, get you started. Yeah.
Oh, there's several buckets we're trying to fill. I mean, like with polio, we're doing this month, but we've also got the pollinator garden and the green initiative that we're trying to bring to our town to just help make people more aware of what they can do as an individual to, feed the bees and make the air cleaner. And we've also got the human trafficking initiative. There's a lot of things that we can do, and I hope more people who are interested give us a call.
Yeah.
Come to one of our meetings.
If you're passionate about something, Rotary's probably got a place for you.
All right. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Come
Thank
back.
you for having us.
We'll do another little history lesson next time you come.
Oh,
That's
yes.
all
Perfect. I love those.
right. We can just pick a spot and do some research. And
Yes.
I think that you go back far enough. The one I always hear about is the Burlington Hotel, which was a huge hotel downtown that I think burnt down once or twice.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know that much about it because that was before my time, Robert.
I'm gonna
Burlington
go look that up.
Hotel. Yeah. No, you'll have to let me know what you find.
All right. Well, we got a good resource at the museum here, Custer County Museum.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll take a news break next.
You are listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Go, go, go! On KCNI, KBBN, Broken Bow, Nebraska.
CBS News Brief. Former President Trump is expected at a courthouse in New York any moment now, with a new civil trial about to begin, questioning his business practices. CBS's Robert Costa is in Lower Manhattan.
In this case, the judge has allotted 3 months for this trial, and so far, it's done little to rupture Trump's standing in the Republican presidential race.
The Supreme Court plans to tackle some difficult issues in a new session beginning today. Loyola Law's Lori Levinson.
There are cases regarding medication abortion that may be decided by the Supreme Court, as well as congressional redistricting plans from South Carolina, where there's an allegation that there's been racial gerrymandering.
After a 3-year pandemic pause, millions of Americans, including Lucero Cabral, who attends college in Texas, will have to resume paying student loans.
It just really sucks that they promise the public something that they can't deliver on.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Nick Cope.
The Kansas City Chiefs escaped Sunday Night Football with a 23-20 win over the Jets. KC led 17-0 in the first half before New York tied it up at 20-20 in the third quarter. Jets quarterback Zach Wilson threw for 245 yards and 2 scores, but he fumbled a snap in the fourth quarter, and the Chiefs ran out the clock from there. Patrick Mahomes was picked off twice, but KC running back Isaiah Pacheco stepped up, running for $115 and a touchdown. Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett was knocked out of yesterday's loss to the Texans with a knee injury, but NFL media reports today initial testing showed no injury to Pickett's ACL. In baseball, the Mets fired manager Buck Showalter after 2 seasons on Sunday. He was the NL Manager of the Year last season. Today, the Mets announced they hired David Stearns as president of baseball operations. Stearns held that same role with the Brewers.
Here's a look at your weatherology forecast. High temperatures pushing up into the upper 80s for today with mostly sunny skies. Lower winds breezy out of the south at 15 to 25. Then for tonight, mostly cloudy, a chance for some late-night showers and storms, 62. Tuesday, showers and storms then more likely. We're back to highs in the mid-70s, and even cooler on Wednesday, clearing skies, 67. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Michael Caro.
Lashley Land and Recreational Brokers is proud to be servicing the Custer County area, and currently land is moving at a high rate of speed. So if you are considering selling your land, now is the time, or get an opinion of what your land might be worth. Call me, John Farley, at 308-530-7854, or check me out at lashleyland.com.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. But right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
It is 67 degrees outside here at Broken Bow under a sunny sky. Brent Amperson and Dave Burney with you here on the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. How hard and long did you have to beg for a fish from the fish tank at the dime store when you were a kid?
I don't think very long.
You think you just ask for it and...
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you have to go through the discussion before you got the first fish about cleaning the tank and taking care of your fish if you were going to have a pet fish? Did you get the explanation that the tank will get smelly if you don't clean it once in a while? You cannot overfeed the fish. They're your responsibility.
Yeah. Probably had that discussion. I guess I don't necessarily recall. I think for us, more, it was like the family fish.
I have a recommendation for the listeners out there. I don't know how many tadpoles there are anymore out there, but the tadpoles are a good way to get a learning experience on keeping an aquatic pet.
Oh, yeah?
And tadpoles were fun because you got kind of a double pet out of them.
Mm-hmm.
They swam around like fish for a while, and then the little legs started poking out the back and then out the front. And then you had a toad.
Yeah.
So then you had a pet toad.
There you go.
Just an idea.
Okay.
Another idea that I have.
Can we get a fish for KCNI KBBN?
I don't know who would take care of it. I just don't know how that would work. We could probably...
Christy would after a while.
Well, Summers knew she might be interested in a fish.
Kristen would be good at taking care of it. Kristen would make sure that it was well taken care of.
I'm afraid she might overfeed it.
Oh, well.
And I don't know. I just have a feeling...
I mean, we've dealt with mascots before here at KCNI, KBBN. The most famous one, of course, was Magnolia the goat.
Yes, she was a dandy. Again, she caused Tom Hilkemar some real grief. He'd look outside the window and the goat would be on his car.
Was always on top of that Buick.
And just liked his car, nobody else's car.
No, wouldn't even go near anyone else's automobile.
The reason being that there was a large platform for the goat to stand on once it got up there,
Yes.
because Tom drove big old boats.
Uh-huh.
Life insurance tips coming your way. We've given you some tips on fish and pollywogs. Now we're going to move into life insurance tips brought to you by Universal Insurance here in Broken Bow, a division of GTA Insurance. Jack Lindstrom would like to talk to you about something that's more affordable than you think, life insurance. And, of course, it's less expensive the younger and healthier that you are. Universal is located on Southeast Street in Broken Bow. Contact them at 308-872-6438 or www.gtagroup.com. Life insurance is for couples, parents, single people, business owners, kids, and, frankly, anyone who lives. Let them help you. Remember, life insurance isn't for people who pass away. It's for people who live.
Couple of job opportunities posted for you right now on sandhillsexpress.com. Just go to the employment page where you'll find a couple of opportunities through the Nebraska Department of Transportation. They are currently accepting applications for an office specialist to provide office support to the staff in the Broken Bow area office. Also, they have an opportunity for a highway maintenance worker to join their team in both Broken Bow and Oconto. At Nebraska Department of Transportation, they reward their employees' hard work with a friendly and supportive work environment that encourages creativity and innovation. They provide training, career development, advancement opportunities, ample paid time off, work-life balance, and a comprehensive benefits package. To apply, you need to go to this website, statejobs.nebraska.gov, and online state application must be completed. The state of Nebraska is an equal opportunity veterans preference employer.
Thank you, Brent. Thank you very much.
I always like when you do this spur of the moment. I never know who you're talking to.
Hi, Teresa.
Hi.
It's the breakfast show. We wondered about, we're kind of doing a selection by elimination process. We were wanting to get a pet goldfish and wondered how you felt about being responsible for taking care of the fish.
Pet goldfish. I've never had a fish.
Really?
But,
oh, wow.
I mean, I'm sure I could probably keep it alive.
Well, you have to clean and scrub the tank. We wouldn't get a real big tank for just one pet fish. What color, if we decided to go with this, would you want a actual goldfish or one with black and white colors, long tail, short tail? What's your thoughts?
I like a little bit of variety, so something a little different would be a good choice.
Okay, all right. Piranha?
No.
I wonder if you can get a piranha.
I don't know, but that's a big no.
Okay, big no on that.
Yep.
All right, how do you think Christy feels about taking care of a fish?
I don't think she would want to be involved, but I can't completely answer for her.
You ever think about being a politician?
No, I have not, but I have been told I give good answers like that.
You do. Yeah. You do. You do. Thanks, Teresa.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
So Teresa would, if asked, take care of our pet fish.
I think your choices are kind of limited. on what kind of fish you can get if it's just going to be in a fish bowl.
Well, you got your regular goldfish. Can't you get those ones that don't?
Well, some of those aren't going to survive unless they're in, like the tank with the air and everything flowing through it, right?
Yeah. What's the fish that has the long tail that they hardly even move? They're more almost like they're not alive.
I don't know. I'm far from a fish expert, especially goldfish. I honestly don't know.
What do they call
I just know there's a lot of varieties, but some of them have to, be in like an actual, aquarium type thing.
You have to have the filter and all
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
And, the little house for them to swim through. And,
well, that's always fun.
Yeah. I've always thought about how much fun it would. I don't even know if it's legal, but if you had a big, pretty good-sized tank, and then put some small baby northern pike in there. And then every once in a while, throw in a small minnow and see them.
Oh, yeah?
Watch them, yeah. And then try to get the pattern of how they bite.
Ah, I see.
Or I guess
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah. You notice down at Cabela's in Kearney, they used to have a lot of fish down there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they do so much anymore.
Man, been a long time, actually, since I've been in there.
I would go in there probably more often, but they want me to join the club all the time.
Yeah, you're always met with that.
I don't want to join the club. I just want to buy some hooks.
Are you interested in the Cabela's card?
Yeah. Then you go to the next aisle, and another person walks up and says, "Are you interested in the club card?
The
savings?" No, I just came here to buy something.
You do get a percentage off your purchase, I think.
Oh, it's probably a good deal, but I just never been a club type of person.
I hear you.
Be in a club.
Yeah.
Like that kind of club.
What would we name our fish?
Gosh, that's I'm thinking, well, how do you know? Is it a girl fish or a guy fish? And that's a little bit difficult to identify.
Yeah, I wouldn't know where to start with that.
I think if it was a girl fish, I'd like to go with Maggie.
Yeah?
If it was a boy fish, I'm thinking maybe Jerome.
Jerome. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I was thinking Bob.
Bob
yeah,
the
kind
fish?
of. Yeah, kind of a tribute to our dear friend Bob Bowles, who worked here for years.
Fred Fish. You could go with that.
Bob. Good morning, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
We could put it right here. It'd be a nice centerpiece right here on the table in the breakfast show room.
What if we spilled Bob all over the floor?
Well,
what do they call those decorative fishes that are almost dead?
I honestly don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
There's a one fish. Isn't there like a beta?
That's
the beta. Is that it?
Yeah.
The beta fish.
What is it with a beta fish? What do they do? They don't.
Man, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an expert when it comes to goldfish.
All right.
Or little fish in, a fish tank or aquarium, whatever.
If someone out there's listening and they'd like to win a prize.
Oh, you're going to, okay.
What kind of prize?
I've got all kinds of stuff over here that we use for the game.
How about
I have
Is Runza? We had.
Well, let me see when some of these expire.
Yeah, some of them.
Now these I don't think have an expiration date on them. We've got a bunch of certificates for free ice cream at Runza.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Ice cream cone or dish.
A dish or ice cream cone. If you'll call in and go on the air and explain the beta fish. What is a beta fish? Because it seems like they just.
But they're the ones that have to kind of be taken care of. I mean, they have to kind of have some special things, right?
I don't know. I just know that.
I think they do.
They get.
I don't think they're one that you can just throw in a fish bowl. And
I think
they'll survive.
I think I've seen one in a
Really?
fish bowl. Yeah, let's find out. We have a caller on the line. Good morning. Who do we have on the air?
Candy.
Hi, Candy. Do you know about beta fish?
Yes, I do.
Oh, good.
All right.
Okay.
Well, just explain to us Well, we'll start with, what's the difference between a regular goldfish and a betta fish?
Well, your betta fish does not require any air bubbles or anything. It just sits in a bowl.
Okay, so what fish am I thinking of then, Candy, that takes needs the air bubbles and things? I guess I thought that was a betta fish.
No, you're thinking more of your fresh fish, like your goldfish, your guppies.
Oh, okay.
Probably tropical fish.
So a betta fish would do okay in just a fish bowl.
Yeah, my daughter had one when she was little, and she fed it pop, and it still was alive.
Oh, wow. Now, that is definitely the kind of fish that we need here at KCNI, KBBN. We need a hardy fish like that.
Yeah, they survive.
No.
The only thing with bettas is you cannot put two brightly colored males together in one bowl.
Oh. Do they like fight?
They will fight to kill each other.
Oh, well, gosh.
Well, I don't know.
Fight to the death?
That actually sounds kind of fun.
Well, I think that'd probably be illegal, kind of like rooster fighting.
Well, if you put a mirror in front of it, it'll puff up.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? Huh.
So they're just very, very protective of their space. So if you have two, it has to be a male, female, or can you have more than
males survive without a female for a long time.
Well, you're kind of lonely, wouldn't it?
No.
Okay, all right. I think you'd be kind of lonely.
All right, so it sounds like a betta fish is what we need to go with, if we need.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. You have just won yourself a ice cream cone or dish of delicious ice cream.
Actually, I'll give you a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take a couple. Come out and see us.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for the
Candy.
information, Candy. Bye. Okay. The betta fish is low maintenance.
Kind of sounds like it. A hardy goldfish, which, again, is really what we need here. Because you just,
come to think about it, I think when I saw a betta fish a time or two, the water was kind of a little murky.
Oh.
Because I don't think they have to be changed as often.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know the pollywogs, if you didn't change the pollywogs and the water got murky, it would start to smell.
Mm. Well, and see, there you go. If we leave it here in the breakfast show room, then it would probably get taken care of and the bowl would get cleaned more often. Because you're right, sometimes those fish bowls, they take on an odor.
They do.
And we wouldn't want that when we have guests coming in and such. In fact, it might be kind of a neat experiment to just let it get that way and then see what guest would come in and then clean the bowl for us.
Well, that would, yeah, like Joyce was in here today.
Yeah, exactly. I could see Joyce being that person. Guys, I tell you what, let me clean the bowl for you.
Well, you have to be very careful about cleaning fish bowls because you can, quote, accidentally lose the fish down the drain or into the toilet. And I believe I've heard some stories over the years about someone like yourself when you were a little guy said, "Mom, can I have a fish?" And the answer, of course, would be yes, but you're going to have to take care of it. I'm not saying you did this, but the mom or dad said you have to learn responsibility. If you're going to have a living fish or animal, you're going to have to take care of it. And as time goes along, the mother ends up taking care of the fish and accidentally flushes the fish down the toilet accidentally. And then they have to tell the child that there was an accident, but the fish is fine because, don't worry, honey, it just went down into the sewer and is swimming around there. I mean, there's alligators in Florida that come out of sewers quite nicely if they get, or in New York City, when people get tired of them and they flush them down the toilet. It's not a very good idea, but I know mothers only had that happen accidentally. Peg, if you're listening, I'd like to know if you accidentally flushed one down the tube. Brent.
Yes, Dave.
I know we don't have a sheet to talk about it yet, but I assume since you're the sports guy, what's your first broadcast this week?
Yeah, we'll be on the road this week. We're going to head out to Ogallala on Thursday, and we're going to do Broken Bow Volleyball, as they'll be involved in a triangular with Ogallala and Minden. And so we'll have both Broken Bow matches from that for you on Thursday evening on KBBN 95.3 FM and KBBN.com. That'll be radio only, so we encourage you to tune in and listen to those matches on KBBN. And then on Friday, I'm glad you brought this up. On Friday, we will not have, unfortunately, an area football game of the week like we usually do on KBBN. The reason for that is football will be featuring Nebraska that night. Nebraska will have a short week this week. They'll go on the road and play Illinois on Friday. And so due to contractual obligations, we certainly are obligated to air that game for you since we're a Husker affiliate again this year. So we'll have Nebraska against Illinois on Friday night on KBBN 95.3 FM. And you can tune in for pregame coverage at 5, kickoff just after 7. And then on KCNI, Kirk and I will be traveling to Minden, a huge game for Broken Bow, a big district showdown as Broken Bow takes on Minden. Should be a lot of fun, and we'll have that for you on KCNI Radio on Friday night. Pregame coverage brought to you by Custer Federal State Bank at 6, kickoff at 7, coming up on Friday.
In other sports news, former Red Sox pitcher Tim Wakefield passed away at the age of 57. Two-time World Series champ, spent 29 years with the organization, and was also a special assistant and broadcaster. And, of course, he was a knuckleballer, one of the few left in the game. And I understand, too, that his wife is ill with cancer. So very sad. 57 is way too young to leave, and he holds the team record for the most starts, 430 starts in innings pitched over 3,000. And he's also the only pitcher behind Clemens for most strikeouts on the team with 2,046. So he really left his mark when he was on the field and after as well. Hate to hear about that. Also, this was probably something we should have started the show with. Taylor Swift was at the football game in New York last night, brought along some friends. It was reported that she was going to be arriving with Mr. Kelsey's mother. I don't know that the mother was there, but Taylor was there smiling and drinking. It looked like some sort of a raspberry drink of some kind. They showed that on the screen.
Well, that's great.
So,
how did the game turn out?
Very close, actually. I didn't think it was going to be. I went to bed, and the Jets made a game out of it.
Yeah.
Fumble there, and you might have heard it a moment ago, and the cost a fumble by the quarterback of the Jets team was very costly. But Taylor Swift was there, and that's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she probably be at some other games unless they break up. I just hope they don't.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
Don't break up.
I can't handle that. So happy for those kids.
Well, you can imagine I was texting with Emily Barnett yesterday because she's a big Kansas City fan, of course, and lives back in Kansas City. And so I just said, I don't know if you know this or not. This just in. It was reported before the game that Taylor Swift would be there. And Emily was just delighted.
Yeah. A lot of people were and are.
Okay. Anything else on your mind before we close? You got everything taken care of over there?
I think so, yep. All the business is taken care of.
I think we have. We talked about the pie baking contest. Summer is experimenting with some pies. I think we're in a little trouble on the pie contest because I don't know that Christy is willing to compete because she is not a pie maker. Should I find out?
That's up to you.
Maybe she'll at least take care of the fish. Maybe she's gone already. She might be out on the
Yes.
Oh, there she is.
Hi, Christy.
Yes.
Where are we at,
Yes.
Christy, on this pie contest? Are you in or out on this?
I'm not a very good pie baker. I don't brag about that.
Well, we kind of designated you, and now I see Summers working on. Did you try Summers pie yet?
We didn't know who brought the pie.
Yeah, Summer brought it in.
Okay, well, that sounds like she's the best candidate to bake your pie then.
Well, you better talk to her about it. She wants to see if we like it.
Okay, what kind is it?
I think it's apple, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's her grandma's recipe.
Okay.
Oh.
So check it out, and then we got to make a decision on that because we're going to have to buy the products to put that pie together.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay, and the other question, if Teresa is unable to or unwilling to, would you take care of our pet fish?
I'm not very good at pet fish either. We've tried them, but they don't live very long.
Okay, we'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Important things going on here at the studios, as you can hear.
Absolutely.
Just before we close, though, do enter the pie contest. They'd love to have lots and lots of pies. You can enter on Thursday between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Take them out to the barn, the Red Barn. And, again, it is 1 8-inch, 2-crust fruit or fall pie in a disposable tin. That's what you need to enter. And no soft pies. And I mean it. You bring a soft pie out there and you might get it in your face. Or not. Anyway, they're going to have a ribbon cutting at 5:30 for the Sod House. Karen Wyatt Dravo with the Nebraska Humanities will be speaking about life of a prairie pioneer. Going to be a lot of fun. And the ribbon cutting to follow with refreshments.
Good. Be a good day.
Oh, yeah. And we'll hopefully be broadcasting from there live, and I think Jeremy has some ideas on some video coverage. I'm kind of delaying going to the end of the breakfast show.
I could kind of tell that.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Payroll.
Oh, well, if that's what you need to go work on, I say we wrap up the show right now.
They like doing payroll. It's outgoing cash.
Yeah. Part of business.
I guess if you don't pay your employees, they probably don't come to work. That's the way the government discovered it out.
Yeah, right.
I'd like to kick it down the road about 45 days and pay you then. Talk to you tomorrow.
All right, see ya.
Welcome back to the Nitrogen Stabilizers Draft.
Optonite technology, first pick, just like the last 46 years.
That's what we love about this sport. We just don't know.
We know. It keeps nitrogen in the corn's root zone for 8 weeks, compared with 2 weeks for others.
With the first pick, farmers select
Optonite technology from Corteva Agriscience. Boom. I'm going for a pretzel.
The pick is in. Optonite technology from Corteva Agriscience with Inserve and Instinct Next-Gen Nitrogen Stabilizers.
It takes balance to be successful in farming because what you get out of it depends on what you put in. And Corteva Agriscience gets that. Introducing Utrisha N Nutrient Efficiency Optimizer, a biological product that naturally captures nitrogen from the air. It's a sustainable way to add balance to your traditional nitrogen methods and maximize your yield potential. Embrace a balanced approach to nitrogen management this season by visiting Corteva.us.
And to close the show today, we had a nice note from Sarah concerning our conversation earlier with Keith Ellis and Joyce Richardson, and she said, ever since visiting back in March for my grandpa's funeral, my son keeps talking about how he wants to move to Broken Bow. He loved Nebraska. Thank you for that note. Appreciate it. And you're welcome to move back anytime.